It's Ruth Langsford, Brenda Edwards, Coleen Nolan, and Janet Street Porter.
Thank you. What a lovely audience. You're very welcome. And hello to you at home. Lovely to have your company. Welcome to Tuesday's Loose Women. So coming up for you this afternoon, ITV drama Vera is finishing after the next season. I know, we're all very sad. Brenda Blethyn waving goodbye to a character she has played for 14 years now. So we're going to be talking about the jobs that have defined us. Also,
get ready with me. My electrician is coming over, and he's really cute. Last time he was here, he was flirting with me, so I'm going to flirt back.
She is the grandfluencer taking the internet by storm. Does age give you a licence to be more loose-lipped like her? And a year on from his death, we'll be remembering showbiz legend Len Goodman, and joining us to do that is someone who knew him very, very well, his dear friend, Dame Arlene Phillips. Starting off this afternoon with the news that's on most of the front pages today, the Rwanda bill, which Rishi Sunak hopes will stop the migrant boats crossing the Channel. It was finally passed in Parliament late last night. Apparently, planes have already been booked, with the government hoping that they will take off within the next 10 to 12 weeks. So many differing opinions on this, Janet. Some people saying you've got to do something, other people saying it's absolute nonsense, it's not going to work. What do you think? Because he's saying, you know, enough is enough, we've got to do something. Is it an election winner? Is it just
Well,
hot
I don't
air?
think the bill will stop the migrants coming, that's for sure. I just don't think it will make any difference whatsoever. Last night on the television news, they showed some of the apartments and hostels in Kigali, the capital of Rwanda, where the immigrants are going to be housed if we're lucky enough to get them on a plane and get them there. But interestingly, in Rwanda already, there are quite a few asylum seekers from other countries being sent there already. And those people don't really it seems to me, want to be there. Because when they asked them, are you going to stay here in Rwanda, they all said no, they were going somewhere else. And where they obviously want to go is Northern Europe and Britain in particular. The Labour Party has said that if they win the election, they will repeal the bill. So that's... you feel you're going
but then
round
have
in
they
circles.
said what they do instead?
No, they haven't, because the answer is, what can you do if we're still... using the European Court of Human Rights as our point of last appeal. And I know that Rishi Sunak would like to remove Britain from the European Court of Human Rights, but that's a very controversial thing to do. So at the moment, the bill's gone through finally, but asylum seekers will use the courts and will use everything they can to stay here. And in the meantime, the government is going to pay £370 million to Rwanda whether anybody goes there or not. And they've got to find airlines willing to take the passengers.
Well, Rishi Sunak is saying they have done that, and that a plane standing by, and, you know, it's going to happen...
Isn't that a code for we are going to use the British armed forces?
Possibly. Very sad news just today, this morning. At least 5 migrants, including a 7-year-old girl, have died during an attempt to cross the Channel. And I think that's, Coleen, where the human side comes in. You know, I think so many people are saying we can't have any more people. I think the British people generally are very welcoming, they're very generous, but there comes a point where you go, well, can we actually afford to take any more people? But then you hear something like that, people risking their lives to get here, who are obviously very desperate.
Well, can we afford to take any more people? But they're going to spend £370 million over 5 years to do this Rwanda thing. So £370 million is a lot of money.
Yeah.
Which all of a sudden they seem to be able to magic out of the air when our NHS system is falling through the floor. There's no money for that, but there is this. That annoys me. However, on the human front, I know everything. Obviously, you're much more up on it than I am, political-wise. I don't know about that side of it, but I just every time I read about it, I put myself in their position and think, how desperate must you be to risk your life on a boat with your children?
With a child, yeah.
to come and find safety and to turn around and coldly go, well, there's no room here, you'll have to go there, or send them back in boats. We're very, very, very lucky that none of us have experienced that form of desperation, and so it's hard for me to go, just send them back, or don't let them in, or there's no room, or they're taking our job, all of those things, which I'm sure, you know, there is a point to, but for me as a human, I just can't bear what's going on in the whole world right now at the moment.
Well, we aren't the country in Europe taking the most migrants. The two countries taking the most migrants, well, the three would be Italy, France and Germany. So the number that are trying to come to this country and getting here are not as many as Italy, France and Germany. I think looking back, though, historically, this country has welcomed Uganda nations came here. We welcomed, what was it, 50,000 people from Hong Kong, and we've welcomed people from Ukraine and from Afghanistan. So we are a welcoming country, but in all those instances, those were planned arrivals. And I think what people are saying now is if people are going to want to come here and there's no sign that's ever going to stop, can it not be handled better? And now we have the situation where there are 200,000 people have arrived and are still being processed and they can't work and they're in kind of limbo land. So it's the worst of all worlds.
I'm going to just read a couple of comments that we've had from a couple of viewers. We have Linda. She said, about time. Our country is broken and those in government are too soft. If you come here, you should, as Janet says, come the right way and you should pay your way. Irene also says, we pay France money to stop migrants getting into boats. It's about time we told the French that for every person who lands in our country from France illegally, we will deduct that amount from the money that we pay them.
Yeah, I mean, so many of you getting in touch. I'm so sorry we don't have time to read all of those, but we do love you getting involved. Thank you. We did put a poll out this morning and asked, will the Rwanda bill actually solve the migrant crisis? 85% of you said no, they don't. You don't believe it will. 15, obviously, yes. Thank you very much for getting involved in that. I'm sure it won't be the last time we'll be talking about it in the weeks to come. OK, let's talk about drama, ITV's longest-running and much-loved detective show.
Yeah, so there's bad blood between the two of them. We need to talk to this fella. Right, I want legs down at that market. Anyone who knew Danny Medden, anyone who saw him last night, anyone... Well, look who the cat dragged in.
I didn't mean to interrupt.
Yes, oh, indeed, yes. A bit sad, Janet, a lot of people saying, because yesterday it was announced that Brenda's going to be waving goodbye to Vera. 14 years she's played the character in that hat.
My partner, Peter, is totally... She is the other woman in our relationship. He cannot miss a single episode of Vera. He's heartbroken. It's coming to an end. And so I've watched quite a lot of episodes with him, and I think Brenda Blethyn is a wonderful actress. And it's not just because my middle name is Vera. But yeah, it's a great way of seeing the countryside. I love her accent. I love the fact she's always worn the same same ghastly hat, and she's always got the bottle of scotch in the desk.
Well, she was saying that, you know, she's going to miss it greatly. You know, 14 years, it's a long time, isn't it, to play a character or be in a job, as she would consider it. And we were saying, you know, have you had a job? Is there a job, Brenda, that you think has defined you over the years? You know, that one job that you think, oh, that changed me, or that was amazing, or it wasn't so great, but I dealt with it?
Well, I think not so much defined. If I think of something that challenged me, would be when I first went to become an accounts payable manager, because it was totally out of my comfort zone. I didn't know how to work a computer to do all of these spreadsheets and filters and this, that and the other. And I was quite proud of myself when I managed to teach myself how to do that. So that was a challenge that I think I overcame. But for something that defines me, I would probably say it was my X Factor days, when I did X Factor, because I was, as people would say, the underdog, who kind of came through, and I was the last woman standing in the semi-final. And thank you. Thank you. But I think,
Phil knows how to milk an audience.
But I think, you know, obviously, just because you go on X Factor, that doesn't mean you're going to be successful. So I'm very proud of the way that I've carved my career over almost 20 years to still be here and successful in the West End.
Because I remember you from X Factor. Didn't know you. Didn't meet you till years later. But as soon as they said it was Brenda, I was like, oh, she'd won an X Factor. So definitely remember that.
That definitely defines me.
Coleen?
I have to say, and not just because I'm sitting here today, I have to say it's Loose Women for me. I've been here like 24 years or something, 23, 24 years. I feel like I've lived my whole life through this. You know, 2 marriages, 3 kids, like, just everything has been, you know, and for me, working with a family from a very young age up until I started Loose Women, I feel like I left one family and joined another family. So... we will be handing out sick bags at any point.
I'd only just started and you went off and did something else.
Yeah, I took a year out or 8 months out, but just because I felt I needed to, you know, and then came back and I've just loved it always. So,
Oh, by the way, this has just come in. It's your new contract.
Oh, it is a contract, at least.
Janet, what about you? One job that stands out, maybe?
Well, I've enjoyed working on Loose Women tremendously because it's been a chance for me to learn a new skill, and that's listening to other people. Albeit in small bursts. No, I've really... I mean, it has changed me. It's made me a nicer person, and definitely...
But you were worse before this, you mean?
Well, I can still revert to that character. It's not very difficult for me to switch back to nasty, Janet.
I think you've massively changed over the years on here.
Oh.
I do.
Do you think a bit more
hug now?
Only, don't say that too often because people want to hug
you. No, you don't. Yeah, don't hug her.
But I mean, the most defining thing in my career, but in terms of what people remember about when I was first a TV presenter years ago, was interviewing John Lydon and doing all the films about punk and making all the programmes about young people. I mean, but that to me, I tend not to look back and analyse everything and say, well, that really changed me, because I've always tried to find challenges, and I think as you get older, it's very, very important not to get stuck in a groove.
Yeah. John Lydon, Johnny Rotten, by the way, is on the show, isn't he? Is it this week?
Next week.
Next week. There. With links.
So do you want a hug? Come on.
You can have a mini hug.
Oh my God, I've done that.
I was stooping then.
That's because I'm so short.
She's little.
Oh, no.
OK, still to come.
Are my rules at my funeral. Bertha is not invited. Don't let her in. And you better get drunk afterward. Take a shot for me.
She is the grandfluencer who's not afraid to speak her mind. So we're asking, does age give you licence to be more loose-lipped? Also, moons ago, we bought Janet tickets for a nude cruise holiday. Yes, we did. But did she go? And would you consider a clothes-free getaway? We'll be back with that right after this. Thank you very much indeed. Welcome back to Loose Women. Now, still to come this afternoon, Phillips will be sharing the wonderful memories from her friendship with the late Len Goodman, including memories of the first time they ever met. And
Red had kissed her as though he meant it. She could still feel the burning heat of his lean, far from languid body, and smell the heady mix of horses, sweat, and Givenchy for men.
Yes, the sale of romance novels is rocketing, so do we all need a bit of a raunchy read in our lives? We'll be discussing that very soon. Before we do any of that, though, competition time for you. Now, this is our ultimate summer bonus. Jeff Brazier is live for us today with all the details. Jeff, you look like you're having a wonderful day. Tell everyone where you are.
Hi, Ruth. I've missed you. I've had a lovely day, as you said. I'm at the West Midlands Safari Park, actually. If you haven't been here, it's absolutely incredible. This is one of 24 lodges. It's the Elephant Lodge. But before I show you the elephant feeding just over my shoulder right now, I need to tell you about our ultimate summer bonus, which is where you can win £10,000 a month for 6 whole months. It equates to £60,000 and fun and freedom and relaxation. Whatever you want to use it for would be completely up to you. So let's have a little look at one of the elephants there. This is 5. It's actually named 5. It's just been fed and it's taken its time over it, to be honest. But honestly, the animals here are absolutely incredible. And I stayed in the cheetah lodge last night. I woke up at 6:20, which was a bit unusual without an alarm, and there was a cheetah just literally staring in the windows. It's an incredible experience. You can either pack your trunk, you can come to a safari, you can come to go travelling or do whatever you want with the £10,000 a month for 6 months. But you've got to get your entry in. Here are the details. Good luck.
For your chance to win, text WIN to 86060. Text costs £2 plus 1 standard network rate message. Go to the website, entries cost £2. Call 09068 786060. Calls cost £2 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and phone number to DY17 PO Box 7558 Derby DE1 0NQ. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close on Friday 17th of May at 3 p.m. Good luck.
£10,000 a month, every month for 6 months. Imagine that cash injection from ITV. Guys, I'm off on my own safari adventure. I'll see you very soon. Good luck.
Thank you so much, Jeff. Have a wonderful rest of the day. That just looks amazing, doesn't it? Just an elephant on your doorstep. Thank you very much. Now, none of us are getting any younger, very sadly, but apparently the age at which we are considered old has now increased to 74. This is interesting, Janet, because this was a study they've done, and they said when you're a certain age, so say you're 50 and somebody said to you, when would you consider yourself to be old, right? You might say, 65 is quite old, right? But then when you get to 65, you go, oh, no, it's not actually. 65 is no age. Maybe 75 is old, and then you get to 75. So it's quite fun. They're saying that as people age, they're pushing the kind of limit of what old age means. But do you have an age where you would consider yourself to be old?
When I'm in the coffin. I mean, I'm 77 now, I don't think I'm old. But, yeah, it's true. When I was a teenager and I looked at my mother, who was probably in her 30s, to me she looked ancient, really, really ancient, in her pinny and her little pearls she put on if we had a posh person coming round. I think my generation, the baby boomers who were born just directly after the war, we've always thought that whatever age we've got to, we're so big-headed, my generation, we just think we're the most exciting age there is. So when we were teenagers, we were the first generation that had their own clothes, their own music. You know, very much we defined the 50s and early 60s. Then as we grew up in the 20s, we were, oh, well, swinging 60s, that's a sexual liberation, and that was very exciting too. Then we invented 30-somethings. Then we got to 40. We didn't feel like we'd missed anything. 40-somethings.
Is it naughty 40s?
Naughty 40s. And it's gone on like that. So now I'm in my 70s. I'm still going at 70, you know. I don't feel old.
Do you not think age as well is more like... It's a state of mind, isn't it?
It's definitely a
definite state of mind, I think. And my mind's a state. Yeah, I think so. And different, like, you could meet Janet, what are you, 77?
Oh, I'm 77.
Oh, God.
So you know what's happening? I'm starting the shuffle.
Are you?
I hate the shuffle.
What's the shuffle?
The shuffle is when your head is further forward than your shoulders and you're becoming a tortoise, basically. So Ruth's been giving me instruction in the break about shoulders back.
Yeah.
You know,
but if I put my shoulders back, look.
Yeah, well, that would...
Do you know what I've developed now? I've developed the nano bend. So, you know, if you've done, you know, when you drop something, I have to demonstrate now, won't I? So if I go like this, when I drop my pen, right, when I was young, I just would bend like this, but now I do this. I go, oh, and I've got that. Do you know that thing? I'm like that.
But you've got to make the noise coming back up.
And I go,
oh, yeah. Well, have you noticed the definition of old is that everybody who gets out of a chair goes,
yeah.
When you sit down.
Listen, I want to introduce you to Lillian Droniak. She's incredible. She's 93 years old. She's American. And she has got 13.5 million followers on TikTok, 400 million views on all her videos, because she is hilariously funny. And we were just saying, you know, at 93 years old, you can probably say exactly what you like. So take it away, Lillian.
Get ready with me for Bertha's funeral. If you didn't know, Bertha was trying to hook up with my husband. I always knew I would outlive her. I'm nervous because she might be talking to my husband in heaven. I look good, but I don't want to look too good because it's a funeral. Do you think her ghost will like it? She was always jealous of my clothes. I didn't like her, but it's still sad because she's gone. Love ya.
Brilliant.
That's fantastic.
But do you think that, Brenda, did you look forward to that being kind of more mature and thinking, I can say what I like, don't have to worry
I kind of do anyway.
Well, that's true.
At whatever age. But I think age does make... With age comes wiseness. You've got that. We were saying, but I'm very young at heart. But we were speaking earlier to a young lady in the audience, and I said, when I broke my ankle last year in 3 places, it's still healing. I'm still not over it. There's a young lady in the audience who says she broke her ankle 7 times, and I'm like, it's healed though, hasn't it?
Yeah,
because
you're young.
The young, and everything goes back. That sounded wrong. Yeah. Everything goes back as it should.
No, but it's right. It's a physical thing as well, I think. I think it is a physical...
Well, you're very lucky to have your health. You've got to have your health, haven't you?
Yeah, but when you fix one bit, as you get older, another bit
drops off.
But I love her. She's fabulous.
Stop before we descend into the fest of what's wrong with her.
Oh, God.
OK, still to come. Would you take a holiday on a nude cruise? About that. And she's described their working relationship as the perfect pairing. We're going to be paying tribute to Strictly star Len Goodman. This is a year after his death, with his very close friend Arlene Phillips, with her right after this.
Actress and presenter, the ever-glamorous Ida Field-Williams returns to our studio after 5 years. She'll be talking family life with 4 children and the secret to being happily married to Robbie after 14 years. Ida Field-Williams catching up with some old friends. Thursday, 12:30 on Loose Women.
Thank you very much. Hello, welcome back to Tuesday's Loose Women. And keeping you company this lunchtime, it is Coleen Nolan, Janet Street-Porter, Brenda Edwards and me, Ruth Langsford. OK, still to come, I want to ask you this. Would you go on a nude holiday? Well, do you know, Janet actually was once given tickets to go on a nude cruise. Yes, she was. Did she actually go, though? Because it was quite a while ago. She hasn't talked about it, so we will find out. Also, it's the return of the Bonkbuster. Sales are rising hard and fast. Wrote that. I didn't write that.
Yes, you did.
I did not write
yes,
that.
You did.
They've slipped, the production team have slipped that in. Get to the point.
Wow. Wow.
Another innuendo.
What was I going to say? Yes, should we all give a Racy Reid a chance?
Yes, obviously.
Yeah. Honestly, the things I put up with on this show. Now, let's get to our guest. Joining us now is the Queen of Dance, Dame Arlene Phillips. Now, she's on the show today to mark a sad but very special anniversary, the passing of her dear friend, the late Len Goodman. They spent years crossing paths on the dance floor, but it was as part of the original Strictly Come Dancing judging panel that Dame Arlene Phillips and Len Goodman finally worked together.
In the cha-cha-cha, I look for 3 things. Oh. Rhythm, rhythm, rhythm.
Why?
Striking up a close bond, the pair remained good friends both on and off screen. But on the 22nd of April last year, it was announced that Len had died, sending shockwaves through the showbiz world. Today, Arlene joins us to remember her great friend, Len Goodman. Yes, so please welcome her, Dame Arlene Phillips. Welcome.
Yes, thank you.
It's interesting, actually, Arlene, because we're all sitting watching that, and I was watching you smiling, and we were smiling, because it was very sad so sad when Len passed. Yeah. Taken too soon, in our opinion.
Yeah.
But a year on, it's lovely to look at him and the memories, and you were smiling too. So can you now look back with fondness at your friendship?
I do look back with fondness, and Interestingly, particularly when I hear his voice, because that's the thing that, you know, we can now record voices. Most of us have never thought about recording someone you know you're going to lose and keeping that memory. And the joy in the fact that you can just go to your computer, open it up, and you can get all those wonderful, I'm just a dance teacher from Dartford or whatever it may be, and you can hear them. So just hearing his voice brings him back, and the crazy times we shared.
How did you actually first meet? Because we were saying there in that film that you were on the dance circuit, but hadn't actually worked together, had you?
No, and I knew him, and I had actually studied with Peggy Spencer, who Len was a great sort of ally of, and so with lessons, dance lessons. So I knew Len, but we came together on the day, and I had no idea Len was going to be there, when they had called my agent from the BBC to say, we're going to make a pilot, and it's probably going to be called Strictly Come Dancing, but it's based on Come Dancing of the lifetime that show spent on the BBC. And we'd like to audition Arlene Phillips as a panellist. And I said, it's a ballroom show. You know, I do musical theatre. And they explained that they wanted judges from all aspects of the dance world. So they asked if I would do a pilot. And it was actually, I was having a birthday lunch that day. And they said, can you move it earlier? We really want you to be there. So my agent said, do it, do it, do it. So I moved my lunch earlier. Then, arriving at this studio, it was chaos. There was, on the floor, there were some pros, Anton was one of them, a few celebrities, Natasha Kaplinsky was another, but the fill-in was sort of musical theatre performers who did a mix of dance. And in the studio, there was one man sitting here, one man sitting there, and I was told to sit here, and they were going to show us some dances, and we just had to talk about them and give them a score out of 10. No paddles or anything like that. So Len was sitting there, and there was this chaos, and nobody seemed to be organising what was going to happen. And suddenly, there we were, being told what we had to do, and it was now late. We'd been probably 2 hours in the chaos, and Len was so unhappy. He'd gone from smiling, nice to meet you, oh, so nice to, talking about the ballroom world, to grumpy Len. Nice to grumpy, really grumpy, in 2 hours, because his lovely Sue, it was her birthday, and he was taking her out for dinner, and he wanted to go before we'd even started. And that's how we met.
But the thing is, he always stayed grounded, didn't he?
Always.
Through all of it, he was always the ground.
Yeah, it was never about money. No. It was never about fame. It was about talking about dancing. That's what he did. And he still went back to his studio in Dartford, where that was his baby. You know, he created the ballroom school, and he didn't want to just leave it and say goodbye. And we had adventures together. We went to Southport together. He's feeding me ice cream. It was just...
The best smile ever. I love this smile.
Yeah, his smile, the Royal Albert Hall. And the thing about Len, you know, I went up and down in likability. Len was always loved.
Arlene, you were speaking a little bit about musical theatre, obviously. I had the pleasure of working with you in We Rock You, which you choreographed amazingly. And I was so blown away watching you on the Olivier Awards a couple of weeks ago. I was at home screaming at my telly, and I stood up to give you a standing ovation after you know, the first time you're winning, and you were like, I'm 80, and that's my first award. How did that feel?
Thank you. That was such a crazy moment. Because we didn't think Guys and Dolls were going to win anything. And suddenly, James Cousins, who I worked with on Guys and Dolls together, suddenly, come on.
Because Guys and they didn't win anything else that night. You won it for Guys and Dolls that night.
We won it for Guys and Dolls. Out of 9 nominations, we won it.
And it's interesting you said, you know, I've won first time and I'm 81. And we were talking, I think you heard when you were backstage, we were talking about age and saying that when you're a certain age, you look ahead and say, gosh, I can't imagine being 60, that must be old. Then you get to 60 and you go, oh, it's no age. How do you feel about age generally?
I have to say, I now feel about age in a way that I never, ever thought I would. And that was when I hit my 80th birthday. Because as far as I was concerned, inside, those numbers could roll along, but I was me, and the numbers didn't count. Numbers didn't matter. I didn't care if I didn't celebrate a birthday. It was not important. I hit 80. For the first time, I was questioning my health. Will I keep going? How long do I have? How long am I going to spend time with my granddaughters? And something in my mindset has changed. I'm still bounding along every day.
You're still working.
I got back from Germany on Sunday after working there on Starlight Express, new Starlight Express on Monday, non-stop, absolutely non-stop.
Do you think having grandchildren has brought that into sharper focus, perhaps?
Of course, but I lost my mother when I was 15. And so all I can think about is I want those kids to know that, you know, when Grandma put her arms around them, that nothing mattered. Nothing in the world mattered. You know, you could make everything all right by being Grandma. And I love and adore them absolutely beyond anything that I feel would happen as I got older.
Eileen,
so special.
Do you think you've got more outspoken as you've got older?
I've always been outspoken.
Yeah, but in the job that you're doing now, the climate has kind of changed. We have to watch what we say so much now.
Absolutely. I have had to kind of totally reverse my position of teaching to a new me.
Yeah.
And a new generation.
Nice you?
It's a nice me, but it's also a really understanding me. Really spreading understanding and listening to people and involving people, and it's very caring. So it is different, but outspoken. I think I've always been outspoken. Hopefully, I'll be outspoken more because you know, right, as a woman and forever working in all male teams, I had to be outspoken.
Yes, absolutely. You did, and you were, and we applaud you for it. Thank you very much. It's so lovely to see you and to hear about you and Len. Thank you very much, and again, congratulations on your award. We've got to take a break now. After that, apparently the Bonk Buster is back. Yes, racy reads like this are all the rage again.
He strolls slowly toward me, confident, sexy eyes blazing, and my heart begins to pound. My blood's pumping through my body. Desire, thick and hot pools in my belly. He stands in front of me, staring down into my eyes.
So, are you a fan of a steamy story? We'll find out later. And 6 years ago, Janet was invited on a nude cruise. Did she actually set sail, though? And would you go on a clothes-free holiday? We'll see you right after this. Hello again. Still to come on Loose Women.
The rain streamed on them till they smoked. He gathered her lovely, heavy posteriors, one in each hand, and pressed them towards him in a frenzy, quivering motionless in the rain.
Is that it? Is that it?
Yes, that is story time with Janet.
Really got to go in that.
We're talking about the return of the raunchy read. Did it ever really go away, actually? Not for some of us, it seems. Before we do that, though, competition time again. So we're going back to Jeff. He's live in the West Midlands. Last time you were with elephants, Jeff. Where are you now?
Now with rainbow parakeets, lorikeets actually, sorry. So this one, I keep going to put my hand over it so that... He's not keen on me taking his food away, but yeah, look, here at West Midlands Safari Park, it's been an absolutely amazing day. And these are kind of adventures that you can have if you win our ultimate summer bonus. £10,000 could be flying into your bank account from ITV. So it's £10,000 every month for 6 months. Just think of the difference that could have on your bank balance. Here's another one. You know, sometimes you bite off a little bit more than you can chew. That was definitely going to happen as well. But you can have some incredible you can make some incredible memories with a family. You can treat yourself to a summer of luxury, rest, relaxation, really whatever you need it to be. But these lorikeets actually are not that bad. I'm glad that I went for it. But if you would like to win £10,000 every month for 6 whole months, you've got to enter. There's one guaranteed winner. It could be you. Here are the details.
For your chance to win, text WIN to 86060. Text costs £2 plus one standard network rate message. Go to the website, entries cost £2. Call 09068 786060. Calls cost £2 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and phone number to DY17 PO Box 7558 Derby DE1 0NQ. Entrants must be 18 or over. Lines close on Friday 17th of May at 3 p.m. Good luck.
You could be £60,000 better off. That's £10,000 a month every month for 6 months. Guys, but you've got to enter it to be in it. This place has been amazing today. I've really enjoyed it. Yeah, it's quite cool. Back to you guys.
Very cool, and thank you to West Midlands Safari Park. Those birds are absolutely beautiful. Thank you very much, Jeff, and good luck with the competition. OK, on to some news. Hot off the press, well, quite literally hot. Romance novels are making a comeback. Sales are up 110% in the past 3 years. Not just romance, but kind of raciness. So the producers were asking us, like, have you had racy novels that you remember? And this is an oldie but a goodie, Janet.
A bit like yourself.
A bit like myself. It's called The Carpetbaggers by Harold Robbins. This is from the 1960s. And I got hold of this, me and my friends, when we were too young to have got hold of this book.
Oh.
OK. Yes, and it's been quite hard to find a bit that's tame enough to read out. Oh. OK. She put out her hand and pushed his shoulder. A hint of awareness sparked in his eyes. He tried to get to his feet, but he collapsed, falling sideways across the bed. And I can't read the rest because it's too rude. It's too rude.
You've got a perfect voice for
I could
that.
listen if the TV work dries up.
You just rock the tone.
I could be doing the racy
I was-
voiceovers. But yeah, it did get us talking this morning about, you know, racy novels. I know you love all this, Carl, don't you?
I love it.
A bit of romance and raciness.
I do. Well, you can't beat it, can you? And especially, funny enough, obviously the sales went up during lockdown, and obviously, but I do. But I'm kind of into now. I love romance. I love a bit of the other in it. And I read a lot of Coleen Hoover, actually, she's called. I'm very into her books at the moment, and it's got everything in it. I love books that take me on an emotional roller coaster, whether it's romantically or a bit of mystery, and she has it all, and obviously a bit of the other. I love that. I read those chapters quite over and
They're well thumbed.
over and over again. Really.
Shall I tell you something interesting?
Oh, that'd make a nice change. Go on.
Fascinating fact, sales of these books have gone up. They did start to go up during lockdown, it's quite true. Birth rate's gone down. So what does that tell you? People are turning the pages, but they're not turning anything else.
Not actually.
They're not turning in the sheets. So I don't read them, but I think when I was about 14, I got a job in Fulham Library after school as a helper. Now, the reason for that is that it gave me access to the adult library and the list of books that some of the books back then were banned. And the book I was reading earlier, D.H. Lawrence, Lady Chatterley's Lover, which was kind of prototype.
That was racy in its day.
Yeah. Very, very racy in its day, written in 1928, and then banned in this country, and there was a huge obscenity trial about it. So I read lots of these books when I was a teenager. And then, I'm going to be honest, I did graduate to Jacqueline Suzanne, Beyond the Valley of the Dolls.
Oh, Valley of the Dolls, yeah.
Yeah, and all those.
I remember we used to go to the bookshop and get that book called The Joy of Sex. Remember that? It just had
and what about, did you get the illustrated version?
The illustrated version.
The people are so weird.
Look it up. Look it up. It's an oldie. OK, let's talk about holidays. Nude holidays are on the rise.
On the rise?
You've got it on the brain.
Honestly.
Who is writing this nonsense on the increase? Naked festivals, clothing optional resorts dotted all around Europe. So a nude cruise is also due to set sail around the Caribbean next year. And actually, one of us here had tickets to go on a nude cruise a few years ago. It was Janet. Back in 2018, the team here on Loose Women got her tickets to set sail from Exmouth. Yeah?
Exmouth.
From
Lovely.
Exmouth. Not sure where the cruise was going, but it was no clothes required. Did you go?
Well, you got your answer right there, haven't you? The idea of taking my knickers off and going out in the English Channel, no matter what time of year, with a load of people I've never met before.
Well, you did back in the day.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Swinging 60s.
Yeah.
In the swinging 60s, yeah, possibly, but not now. No.
Would you not do it at all? No.
No, I've only ever been on one cruise, and that was kind of posh cruise round Scotland. And we had to have so many changes of clothes. You had to have clothes for breakfast, clothes for lunch, clothes for going on a little walk round an island, and then clothes for cocktails. The idea of having a new cruise is great in some ways, because all you pack would be a towel to sit on when you...
But, yes, people sitting with no pants on.
And
The
what
thing
happens
is,
when you're having a
but
canapé?
the thing is, this cruise line, I just love how it says it's got some rules and some standard etiquette rules for passengers to conform to. And it says this means you should always sit on a towel or clothing item when bare-bottomed, or you can sit in a thong or a G-string. I'm sorry, I've seen thongs and G-strings and your batty cheeks are still on the chair. So I don't know what the difference is. Don't know what the difference is.
And what happens when the crumbs go down there?
I don't want to be in the swimming pool and some old wrinkled appendages
And at the
going
buffet
past
bar.
me. No.
You know what put me off?
That would put you off your sausages for breakfast. You'd be like, nah, not for me, that.
I think what put me off the whole idea of nudity on holiday was going to a beach in the south of France and seeing two very, very thin blokes stark naked throwing a frisbee. And every time the frisbee went one way, they
could have been throwing hoops.
Oops. Honestly, our minds are in the gutter today. It's these racy novels. I think it's time for us to go before this descends into... That is it for today, I'm afraid. Tomorrow, we're going to be joined by comedian Frank Skinner, and the Strictly star Amy Dowden will be supporting our Don't Skip Your Screening campaign. Until then, have a lovely afternoon. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.